right, good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. With all these snacks, Michael, whose idea was it to serve the snacks beforehand? I mean, man, we're going to lose everybody. They're going to get all these sweets. They're either going to be supercharged or they're going to take a nap on us. But anyway, my name's Gordon Hampton, and I'm the director of Williamson County Parks, and I'm so glad that you all joined us today to help us celebrate 10 years of this park being a piece of the Natchez Trace Parkway. So, to get everything started, and we'll have some comments along the way, but the first thing I'd like to do is introduce our county mayor, Roger Sanderson.
Well, thanks to everyone. I've just got a couple of remarks that I would like to make. First of all, I want to say thanks to the elected officials that have come out. We've got a couple of our county commissioners here that have made the journey. Thank you very much. Mr. Clifford, and where's Cheryl? There she is. So thank you all for coming out. These are the ones that actually do the funding for the different parks and rec programs we have. A little bit about the history of this wonderful facility, which Doug Hood told me just a moment ago that over 40 different countries have visited this site in the 10 years that it's been open. Countries, not counties. It's amazing what's happened here. But it actually started about 50 years ago. A family by the name of the Maxims sold about 80 acres of the land to the state of Tennessee, and the state of Tennessee made a commitment that they would do kind of an arts festival type building. They never got around to that, and the land was eventually, with the trace, going to be surplus. Well, we got two ladies over here jumped in the middle of that. Judy Hayes, who was the county commissioner at that time. Judy, raise your hand. Judy. And the other sidekick of hers, or if you want to call it that, is Nancy Conway, who's still active down at Williamson, Inc., does a lot with their chamber. So both of these ladies are really the instrumental piece that went in to putting this park back in the hands of the county and it not being surplused. Well, I'm getting to him. You know, when you're a man, do I have to say any more to the men that are here? And of course, we've got to get the Trace people involved. Wendell, and we dearly appreciate you threading that weave with the national park so we could have that here at the Trace. So to these three ladies, two ladies and a man, and many other people behind the scenes, we say thank you, and we're greatly indebted for it. After a period of time, we eventually got it in our hands, in the county's hand, and the facility was built. And that was done under the oversight and the leadership of Doug Hood, our Parks and Rec director at that time, prior to Gordon. There are other instrumental pieces. Many of you know this history, but I'm explaining this journey for the ones that don't. The Federal National Park Service and the Williamson County Highway Department actually did the construction, the paving, all the way back out to the Trace, a first of its kind. Because usually the National Park does, though, they contract it out, but we have a wonderful Parks and Rec Highway Department in our county, and under the oversight of Mr. Hood, Eddie Hood, he took this project on, and it actually got a couple of awards for the work that he did. My final remark is, oftentimes in the world we live in today, we don't see collaboration, we don't see partnerships that have a beginning and an end, and one that is so instrumental in what we do. This is one of them. The federal government, national parks, county highway department, Williamson County Parks and Recreation, local people, the Trace, you name it, people have been involved in this to get this park that we have enjoy out here every single day for our residents. And with that, over the years, we've had several gentlemen to extend our park without the county having to spend extra dollars to buy land. We do contracts for a lot of our trails outside of this area. So it's been a wonderful journey. Love to see it. About 90 more years from when we come back for 100 years, I won't be around, and maybe a couple of you might make it to 100. But thank you for letting me say a few words. And my hat goes off to Gordon Hampton and what he does, and all of his crew dressed in the khakis and greens, what they do every single day, not just at this park, but our entire network of parks that we have. Thank you, Gordon. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mayor Anderson. And before I wrap this up with some remarks, I'd like to bring up Michael Culbreth. We are very fortunate that 10 years ago, as the mayor was giving the backstory, about the cooperation, collaboration, Nancy, Tony, Judy, everything that people did to make this happen. Once it got here, it became one of the jewels in our Parks and Recreation crown. But we had to have someone with expertise to be able to take this to the next level. And we were very fortunate to hire Michael Culbreth from the state of Tennessee. It's always nice to have people that come in that are extremely passionate about what they do. And to be honest with you, I can't say that there are too many people that match his enthusiasm and his love for his job. And so he wants to make a few remarks about his role over these past few years, and he wants to recognize some people that have been here from day one. But before he does that, I would like to compliment the job that they started here. And when we started, this was the only park of its type in the county. And when I do the closing remarks, I'm going to bring you up to speed with where we are now. But everything that we've had for the past 10 years is a credit to all the stuff that the mayor mentioned, but especially this gentleman that's fixing to speak to you and his wonderful staff. So, Michael, it's yours.
All right, everybody. I'm not like really great at just speaking off the cuff. Mayor and Gordon are really good at that kind of thing. So I've got my stuff written down. So you'll have to forgive me if I kind of refer to it quite a bit as I go down the line, because I wanted to make sure I didn't forget anything or anyone. So it's an honor to welcome you all as we come together to celebrate the 10th anniversary of Timberland Park. 10 years ago, we opened the gates to Williamson County's very first nature-based park, and today we stand as a testament to the incredible potential of community collaboration and the love of nature. This place really has become a special place for thousands, tens of thousands of people every year. We break over 100,000 visitors a year to this park alone. Over 100,000 people a year come through those gates and enjoy the park. I'd like to start out by thanking some of our partners, supporters, and staff who've made Timberland Park a reality and a success. A special thank you goes to all of our elected officials, our dedicated Parks and Recreation team, all of our private partners, as well as the National Park Service. That collaboration is really the only thing that has fostered this growth and made this place a success. The first person I'd like to acknowledge, and he couldn't be here this evening, but I'd like to acknowledge him anyway, is Dr. Jonathan Oppenheimer. Timberland Park is a 72-acre park, but we have access to over 400 acres of a private individual's land, and through that we've been able to add miles and miles of trail that people from all over can come out and enjoy, and more to come. So I wanted to start by thanking Dr. Oppenheimer for allowing us access to his property at no cost to Williamson County. To tell you a little bit about the park, Timberland Park is not only a space for outdoor recreation, but it's a model for sustainability. We've developed amenities that enhance the park experience while keeping our environmental footprint low. The park itself has currently has 5 miles of hiking trail with 2 additional miles planned right now. Work will begin on that probably in the next month or so. We have a butterfly garden right outside the doors here. It's not much to see right now because we're kind of getting into that dormant season. Kearney. But we have a handicap trail, a handicap accessible trail right out here that goes off into the woods to allow access to people who otherwise wouldn't be able to enjoy what we have to offer. And the visitor center itself is kind of a marvel of engineering on its own. You can see we have these big bay doors, so on nice days like today, it allows airflow, but also the building is completely sustainable. It has solar panels on the roof. That's where all the electricity comes from, and all the water for toilets and sinks and everything else like that comes from a well. So this is an off-the-grid building, which I think is pretty cool, and I think that sort of is, testament to the county's dedication to, trying to lower our impact upon the nature that this place is set aside to protect. So along with the trail building and things of that nature, we also do a fair bit of interpretive programming here. In my view, interpretive programming is the most important work that we do. It's through these programs that we can educate, engage, and inspire all the visitors that come out here. Our interpretive programs help visitors of all ages to connect with the land, understand the history of our area, and appreciate the delicate balance of the ecosystems that we strive to protect. Whether it's through guided hikes, historical demonstrations, or educational talks, these programs all foster a deeper sense of responsibility for the environment, and they instill a love for the natural world that we hope will last a lifetime. And I've kind of, in my capacity, I've been able to see firsthand, especially with our junior ranger camp in the summer, I've seen firsthand how transformative that can be for some people, especially with children, because that's, eventually even, all of our rangers here, eventually we'll have to leave and stop working because this is tough work and we'll eventually get too old to keep doing it, right? But being able to do these programs, this is how we kind of foster that next generation and bring them into the fold, as it were. I also want to recognize our staff. None of this would be possible without the hard work and dedication and passion of all of our staff members, full-time and part-time. Timberland Park is a success because of the people who show up every day and give their best to ensure that the park, or give their best to ensure that the park remains beautiful, functional, and educational for everyone. We have a dedicated team of 8 part-time park attendants who are the first faces that visitors see when they come through those doors. Their role goes far beyond greeting people. They provide the ambiance. They provide the information, not just about the trails, but about the Natchez Trace Parkway, about the area in general. You would not believe how many people we have come through those doors that are just looking for a place to eat. And so we, obviously Franklin's right down the road, Leaper's Fork's right down the road. So just telling people where to go and get a bite, So what they do is they embody the warmth and hospitality that make Timberland Park such a welcoming space. Would all of our park attendants, both past and present, would you raise your hands, please? Park attendants, past and present. Give them a round of applause, please. We could not do the things that we do without them. I cannot stress that enough. So I want you all just to thank you very much for everything that you guys do, okay? And of course, we also have our 7 incredible park rangers. Let's see, we've got a handful back in here and one over there. And all of them, they perform much of the behind-the-scenes work, okay? Keeping the trails maintained, ensuring the park remains safe and accessible, and delivering much of our interpretive programming. These rangers are not only skilled at their work, but they have a true passion for the park's ideals: environmental stewardship, conservation, and education, okay? Their dedication is what ensures that Timberland Park remains a space where people can connect with nature in a meaningful way. They don't just care for the park, they care for the visitors and the natural world that the park represents. And from me to all of my rangers, thank you very much for everything you do. Give them a round of applause. So at this point, I would like to recognize two people who have been here from day one. Billy Bilbrey and Doris Hathcock, would y'all please stand and come join me up here for just a moment? I'll tell you a little bit about both of them. Okay, Billy has been a cornerstone of Timberland Park since its inception. He, along with Ranger Michael Hughes, was one of the original builders behind many of the trails that are out there today. His expertise and vision were crucial in shaping the layout and design of the park's trail system, and Billy's hard work and dedication are woven into the very fabric of this park. Doris is a retired Williamson County Parks employee. He has been instrumental in ensuring that the visitor center runs smoothly, from helping manage day-to-day operations in the center to contributing to the broader needs of the park. Doris has done it all with dedication and more or less good cheer. And his service has made a significant impact on the park's ability to welcome and serve visitors effectively. And just from me to the two of you, I cannot say enough how much both of you have helped me personally, just in my career and trying to get things done around here, how much you two have helped me from day one. All right? And so I've got a couple of plaques for you two, recognizing 10 years of service to Timberland Park, with hopefully many more to come. Okay? Thank you, Mark. All right. Thank you all very much. Oh, yeah, there's your. So, thank you all very much. Okay, almost done, y'all, promise. So as we reflect on these first 10 years at Timberland Park, we also look forward to the next chapter. We have so much more to accomplish, both here and elsewhere. More trails to build, more programs to offer, more partnerships to strengthen. But with the ongoing support of our staff, our dedicated partners, and the community that we live in, I have no doubt that the next 10 years will be even greater than the last. And together we will continue to grow Timberland Park into a place that inspires, educates, and connects all of our citizens with the natural world for now and generations to come. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right, so we'll get this wrapped up. You can see why Michael was the man for the job these many years ago. He's very passionate about what he does here. And he didn't talk about the newest addition to his staff, but we finally let him have a programming snake. So anyway, he's been bugging us for years about a programming snake, and now they have one. And Doris and Jennifer York, who used to be my deputy director, they are here to make sure that that snake is handled correctly. So, So to wrap this up, the mayor talked a lot about collaboration, and just once again to go over how important that is. We've had a wonderful opportunity to make this park, as Jennifer came up with this years ago, our place on the trace. And it is very important to this county in a number of ways, because residents of this county have a park that they can come and use, but it also attracts visitors. As Doug had mentioned, and Rogers brought to a point, there's a map back here, and you can see the dots on the map. And those dots represent visitors from all over the world. And visitors is in partnerships. I'm glad to announce that, Maureen Thornton from our Visit Franklin County's Convention and Visitors Bureau, she's here today, just to show you once again how important this location is for the greater good of not only the county, but for the economic impact and all the other societal benefits that parks like this have for this part of our world. We've been so successful out here that since this park came online, we have added another section in the Leapers Fork area for mountain bike trails. We used 150 acres of surplus land that we had, with the topo being very rugged, very hilly. It could only be used for one purpose only, either walking trails, but we turned them into biking trails. And our Wilkins Branch Mountain Bike Park is another example of great stewardship to get people out, keep them healthy, get them in nature. And our staff has done an unbelievable job of turning that into one of the most desirable places to ride in Williamson County. We also have brought online a park in the southeast part of the county, in the College Grove area. Actually, it's the Allisonia area off of Giles Hill Road, and it is Peacock Hill Park. Once again, it's a perfect example of collaboration. We had a family that decided through years and years of their family just being good stewards of the land to donate almost 250 of the most beautiful acres in Williamson County in Middle Tennessee to Williamson County Parks to develop as a park for everyone to use. And the Ogilvy family has stayed in the backdrop to allow the Parks Department to do what we do. And since that park has come online, it also has gotten tens of thousands of visitors, and it continues to be sort of an unknown commodity for the nature community, but more and more people are finding out about it, and it is a unique piece of property. We have other things that we're trying to bring online. We have other partnerships that we're fostering to try to continue to use all this collaborative philanthropic spirit that now exists in Williamson County, so that as this county continues to grow, these opportunities for people to commune with nature are going to grow with it. You heard Michael just a minute ago mention the partnership that we have with Dr. Oppenheimer. And in the typical Dr. Oppenheimer fashion, when you live a lifestyle like he does, he just shows up when it's convenient for him. He does things at his own beat of his drum. But Dr. Oppenheimer, I want to thank you so much for showing up today. And let me tell you what this gentleman has come to this community, and he's made an effort to really foster conservation. He's purchased quite a few pieces of property in this particular area. He's put it all in land conservation. He has done everything that he can to preserve the rural characteristics of this part of the county. And he's also sharing that with everybody on a daily basis. The Big East Reserve is part of Timberland Park. And we couldn't actually accommodate the tens of thousands of people without his generous donation of the park belongs to, the property belongs to him, but he allows us to have a contract and at no charge for us to be able to allow the public access to those beautiful, beautiful miles of trails. And so I've known Dr. Oppenheimer for a long time. He came to me with this idea, and he and I have collaborated over the years, and Michael has done a good job of fostering this relationship with him. So, Dr. Oppenheimer, I just want to thank you so much, because what you've done here means so much to so many people, and it goes underappreciated because most people don't know what you've done. So once again, thank you so much. So really, to wrap this up, this has been a wonderful opportunity. There's just a couple of more people to recognize. The people that actually designed this, brought this online. Jeff Corlew, Brian Richter, they did the design for this to make this a sustainable building. C&I Design at that time did a wonderful job of designing this to fit in with nature. Gentlemen, thank you both for being here today. David Pope with Romac was the general contractor that built this. And as Mayor Anderson said before, Doug Hood, my good friend and my predecessor, was the person to work with these folks over here, with the mayor and all the county commissioners, to actually have the patience to turn this dream, this idea that started years ago when the state acquired this property, into what it is today. So for all those people that worked so hard to get it here, thank you so much. So that's all I have today. Thank you so much for coming out. And believe me, we love doing this, and it's a pleasure to serve this community. Thank you so much.